Hey everybody, I'm just getting settled in here. I'm going to do a little bit of a live stream for a few minutes. Get an image up though first. Just the basics I got to cover when I start this. And then I got to share it around. So give me about 2 minutes here and I'll get going. There, got my image up. That is good. Okay, just about ready to go here. I got to make sure this gets shared on to Interior Weather and Wilderness Watchers. That's important. Just about ready. Is the broadcast working? There, got it. It's working. Okay. I'm live right now, watching where the storms are happening in BC. Join in and ask a question in the chat if you have any. That's what we're going to say. There's the link. Posted. Now, here's the caveat. I might not be doing this very long because the storms are popping right around me. I just went down to the Bowen and caught one, and it was awesome. It was most totally awesome. So what we're going to do is look first at a couple things. Once I get some screens closed, get myself organized. Okay. And let's start with the radar scope. That's always the good one. Hopefully you can see this. So here's what's going on in the Caribou right now. So I was just down at Bowen Lake, and there it is. And I went up to the Bowen River, parked my butt here. These storms were happening. They were happening, but I was a little late to the party. But it was constant lightning in there. I didn't see any because it was very bright out. Constant lightning. And what happened was it rained a little. And as I was going out towards where the Bowen River Retreat is, there was a lot of steam coming up off the road, and it was pretty obvious to me that could be very helpful to any of these other storms that want to develop. So I think as strong as these storms are right now, they're just going through Dome Creek. And I mean, that's a pretty solid radar return, 62, 60. We're in the 60s there on that radar return. So we're getting strong. That's probably a hailer going on in there. That's what that is, right? Just crossing over Highway 16. So most likely a hailer. Oops, still got my tool on. Not too far from McBride. Passing through Dome Creek. So if you're on Highway 16 when that went through a few minutes ago, that must have been quite a show. And it's still making a lot of lightning in there. Getting a lot of flashing on my lightning detector. So this one, Lacey tells me, made a lot of thunder and lightning down there by Horsefly. And it's sitting mostly in the mountains. It's near Caribou Lake. There's been some lightning. But we have these other cells that are sort of popping. And I can see them out my window. And I'm like tempted to go set up the time lapse. But then I'm like, do I just wait? And this guy straight out my window would be this one right here. He's starting to get some form together pretty fast, actually. I don't know how much you can see here. I'll turn this off for a second and stop share. Oh, it's so bright out. Oh, you can see his brightness. That's no good. I wonder if I can do something about that. Here's video settings. What's going on here? Does that help? No. Oh, come on. Why is it so bright? Ridiculous. Okay, well, there's a thunderstorm out there trying to build. Unfortunately, you can't show you for some reason. But it's out there. And that's the one that at some point, sooner than later, there's a good chance I'm going to run out the door and go and look at it. So I don't know if anyone's make sure you hit like, share, and subscribe. And thanks to everybody who's joined the Patreon lately. That's very empowering for me. Feeling very good about I woke up this morning and felt like I have a purpose in a way that hadn't really, sometimes lacks for me. So anyways, here's our storms right now that are popping just a little south of us, and I can't show you out my window, but they're there. And you can tell by those dark reds, they're gathering steam pretty quickly. These aren't the only things going on in BC right now. These guys are a little far off, so I don't have a good radar return on them. But somewhere near Clearwater, we got some cells that are trying to fire up there. It looks like we got new ones trying to fire up in the Caribou. So I don't think the Caribou's done for development. I think this is just the start of the development for the Caribou. I think we're going to have a pretty good show into the parts of the evening for some of us. Here we get a better view of that up by Blue River by using Silver Star radar. So get some of those returns there. Nothing looking crazy. However, I'm pretty sure. Let's see. Let's get the lightning. Yeah, lots of fresh strikes just south of us now. So heading towards the Wells direction. We do have lightning near Clearwater, so that is a go for sure. That would be this guy by Vavenby, this Birch Island, this little cell. So that one has produced a lightning strike just recently. These cells down by Barrier, they're not very well developed. Change my tilt, see if they show up. Just a little bit better. They're not very well developed, unfortunately. We don't get a good radar return, but there was 2 lightning strikes there not too long ago. We get closer to Revelstoke. These guys are both producing some lightning. So these are small little cells. They're not showing very much. They're not rain heavy, that's for sure. If they were rain heavy, we'd be seeing a much bigger echo on the radar, and we're not. So both these cells are produced a little bit of lightning, but there's not a whole lot to them on radar. We can only guess what's going on there because they don't have the rain necessarily. Okay, so the most active storm in southern BC right now would be this guy coming down to Nelson. Again, I got weak radar returns. It's far off. Change the tilt and try. No, it doesn't get better if I go lower. So sometimes I found KOTX helpful for BC storms, and this would be sort of a case, I guess. So these guys are moving. That's going to move south, it's saying, but this is going to move north. So there's something's going on there. Something weird's happening. We're going to have to watch and see what's going on there. A lot of lightning strikes there, though. That is quite up to the north side of the Salmo Creston Pass, up in those mountains. It's going to ludicrous speed there for lightning strikes. So maybe the best place to look for those would be on SAT. So let's take a second here and switch screens. And while I do that, maybe I'll just take a chance to see if anyone's got a question. You can, say hi and ask a question. You can do that. I'll make sure to share the stream that I'm doing so that people on my regular Facebook see it too. Tightening up a little bit out there. Yeah, it won't be long that before I'm actually running out the door again. So I'm feeling like the time for thunderstorms here is coming quickly to Wells, even though we're not fully developed yet. Okay. Here, so this will give us a better idea what's going on down in the Nelson area. Spikes are tall. First of all, minus 53. Minus 53. How tall does it have to be be minus 53? So that's an aggressive storm. That's an incredible thunderstorm. And we're not getting good radar returns on it. Now, the simulated radar return looks pretty good, right? But our actual live feed radar return is not showing very much. So these are all individual cells out there that each have the ability to grow at this time of day. That's the other thing that we got to be mindful of. All these have the potential now to grow. So we're going to just go back to satellite for a second, have a look, because that's where we're going to see our radar. I got a cool tool on here. Actually, this is neat. This is called Radar Plus. So I got the cloud and the radar simultaneously. But if I want to use, it integrates a little bit, right? So if I want to use the infrared version of the satellite, it doesn't work. Only uses the blue or visible version, more or less, right? But this is maybe the best image we can produce for this region because we are short on radar activity. So hopefully we'll start seeing some snaps on here, because it sure looks like on the lightning detector they're happening. That guy just up from Nelson, that's spiking pretty big. Let's turn off radar and just see what that is. So, okay, well, what we're looking at here are cloud tops, right? So when we put on the radar, we get an image of where the actual storm is. And when I put on infrared, you see where the cloud tops, where the overshooting top really is. Joshua Palmer sending me some photos right now. Yeah, I think he's looking at the exact same thing I am. Yes, he is. Kootenay Bay. Kootenay Lake. I've actually sat in Sirdar, which is a little town that's right up here. It's not really a town. I don't know what you call it, but it's just up here a little bit. It's like a there's a bar, the Sirdar pub. Our band played at lots over the years. So I sat there in Sirdar once and watched an incredible lightning show right in this exact place, right before it was showtime. So that was neat. We got some fresh lightning strikes showing up. So we've been seeing for a little while near Farquhar. Yes, strong lightning signal, but weak with precipitation signal, Josh says. And that's exactly it. We're not getting much on the radar image of what's going on in some of these places, right? We can really only guess. And we switch over to radar and we see, like, you get an idea where that Farquhar storm is. It's right now striking around the top of Mount Lackaroo. And in this area, look, there's a pretty neat road that goes all the way up top to there. So that's cool. That would be somewhere I'd love to drive someday. If that road is still good, that is. So that's where we're seeing some of those. Go take a look down this way. I'm getting lots of fresh strikes on here, so I don't know why. They aren't turning up. I got show lightning on. So we should be seeing them show up on here. Oh, Josh is right. That's an angry storm. That's a very angry storm. Let's go back up to here for a second, see what's going on. These are the guys. So we got lightning right south of me now out in Wells. So it's not a matter of if. These cells right near me are producing, and they're coming this direction. Yep, they're up in Stanley. We got lightning strikes in Stanley, and we got the clouds moving in fast. So I'm about to call this in a second here. That's about all I can really do for now, I think, anyways. Lightning breaking out all over the Caribou, towards the Caribou Mountains, and then up into, heading into the Rockies now. If you go on, up to the Yellowhead on the other side from here. So very active there. And we have currently 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 locations down southern BC with lightning in the last 15 minutes. So we're looking at, there's going to be a lot of new fire. That's what we're looking at, right? Brace yourself for that. That's what's going to be happening. Going to be a lot of new fire. So what can I tell you? I'm going to go out and start getting on top of these ones here. that's my little update for the afternoon, at least. I hope that helps at all. Yeah, significant outbreak of thunderstorms starting to pop up. Again, we're not seeing severity in much of them. A couple of these, though, have been pretty jacked. Definitely that one down by Nelson's pretty jacked. Definitely this one that's popping south of us here started to look pretty jacked. The one that just went through the bow end, pretty jacked, that I was at earlier today, a couple hours ago. We definitely have storms that show they want to grow, and I think we'll see more of that in the coming hours. I think we'll see some nocturnal storms. So I'll probably come back on here at some point once there's nothing to talk about here in Wells. But yeah, hopefully this time you can see. It's now not very bright out. Hopefully you can't see. There's a thunderstorm building right there. It's pretty dark. You can't even see because it's bad camera and zoom. Anyways, thanks everybody who's been supporting. It means a lot to me. Very much appreciate it. I might be back in a little bit. Okay, that's it.